It was a cold, rainy night when there was a knock on my door. "Mum, what are you doing here?" I said to a freezing, soaking wet mum. I took her in, gave her a towel and a hot drink, and she finally explained that she'd lost her keys. Her speech had recently gone really bad, but she always assured me it's because she had her teeth out. Took her back to her house to see the front door wide open. I told Mum that it was dangerous and she shouldn't leave the door open. The keys were under her pillow, we laughed, and that was that. Another night, my telephone was ringing at 3 a.m. I hurried to answer it, and it was Mum asking was I in. I told her it was the middle of the night and she had to go back to bed. Again, we laughed, as often people get mixed up, don't they?
So, my favourite memory of my great auntie would be she used to come down every Sunday for a roast dinner with the whole family, and every Sunday she'd bring me a magazine from the shop.
Just that memory of going into a house and just having like a little box of like Tuncocks caramel biscuits, which I still love now, and they always just make me think of her. So it's just the little things, really, just having dinner with her and how she used to just make me tea all the time. It was cute.
Memory that's just come to my head is being on his shoulders and him taking me to the park with him. And it was just really cute and a little personal moment. And that literally just came there. And it made me realise that we were maybe closer than I remembered. Yeah.
But Mum and I used to say this poem together, and because this is upsetting, I'll have to read it rather than use memory. So this is the poem. A smile is such a lovely thing, it wrinkles up your face, and when it's gone, it's hard to find its secret hiding place. But far more wonderful it is to know what smiles can do. I smile at you, you smile at me, and so one smile makes two. So, smiling is the favourite moment for Mum.
There's one specific memory that comes to mind. Remember every single Friday I used to go to my grandma's house after school and always have a sleepover. And I think it's just the happiness that it brought when you was there, and it was just like kind of the mood of it all, and it was just what was normal.
My grandpa made this he bought it, sorry. It was like a little toy farm, and you could mess around with the configuration, and we had loads and loads of animals, like an old ice cream bucket. And I used to play with that with him, and he used to love playing with it. And we used to have these little cars that you'd wind back and go, and they'd crash, and the doors would fly open and the bonnet would fly up, and it was really fun. But yeah, just the baking and the playing and stuff.
We had a fab 6 years with lots of fun, but Mum's needs changed and I couldn't cope anymore. I visited every day and Mum would cry to come home. I was dying inside. But Mum did settle and life got better because I knew she was okay. She reached a point where she couldn't feed herself and kept falling over. They gave her meds to sit down, her speech went completely and she aged to looking very old. She lost weight and looked so frail. That's how she went for about the next 5 years, in bed with padding around her.
I think the hardest part for me was just seeing her not being she just wasn't like herself. She was like a zombie. She just couldn't do anything, and that was horrible seeing my nan like that, because she was really active, and up until the point that she got sick, she was still going to town and doing things. And then as it progressed, her just basic stuff like her forgetting who we were and stuff, and obviously that's hard for anyone, but that was the worst thing. Someone that you've known and loved for 20 years of your life, and then they just forget who you are. It's horrible.
She still had this sort of memory of her life, but there was a lot of shells through the way that she'd forgot. I think the day that you went there and with both of them actually, and they spoke to you, but they looked at you so absently and looked at you like they didn't really recognise for a minute who you were. That was the hardest part, definitely.
I didn't struggle with Alzheimer's at all, because it's just Mum. It's Mum with Alzheimer's. But you become the adult as Mum, my angel pie with custard, as I used to call it, becomes the child. And you see fear in that child and you want to take it away. You do have to go through a process of decisions, and some of those decisions can be very uncomfortable.
On 8th of December 2013, I got a phone call. Mum was in A&E with a suspected broken shoulder. Her heart was only 69, so it was strong and she wasn't giving in. She lasted 19 days, 15 without food and no meds, just pain relief to keep her comfortable. Boxing Day came and Mum peacefully grew her wings and flew to heaven. I'll always believe we both kept our promises. She knew I was there. She would always kick her little legs when she heard my voice. Eye contact was rare, but it was so nice when we did, as I could see my gorgeous mum still there.
I think there's definitely a lot more that can be done for dementia awareness. I don't think that I didn't know anything about it until I'd experienced it, and I think that goes for a lot of people. I think that it's something that, because it's affected by the older generation, it's kind of seen as, oh, that's just going to happen and we accept that. But I think that more money can be put into looking at reasons to prevent this, like there is with other illnesses that we're massively funding. I think dementia deserves that funding as well.
It's a mental illness, and everybody in everybody's life at some time will be touched by those mental illnesses. We get frightened of people that are different, and we ostracize them. But we're all different. Somebody with Alzheimer's is different, but there's commonality. So all we need to do is open and listen, and we listen to the other person and we listen to ourselves. And we will learn about the other person and we'll learn about ourselves. And we'll come together, and with Alzheimer's, we can enjoy being together.
You know so many people that grandparents have had dementia, or old people that have dementia or Alzheimer's, and you kind of just associate it straight with that, and you think, oh, they're old, like the older generation, dementia, whatever. It kind of flies past your head. And I think that goes to saying, with all the older generation, with any problems that they have, it's kind of, they're just less regarded than any other population, the younger population and stuff. So 100%, I think more can be done. I think more can really be done to communicate with the younger generations and to educate them, so that, that we know more about it, and not just our parents and people we know.
People describe it as like just forgetting things or just silly little things here and there, but it's not like that. Like, it's so tragic and awful to see someone forget how to survive and feed themselves and move, and just their whole lives completely vanish from their heads, and it's so traumatic, but for them obviously, and for the families. So I feel like more awareness can be brought to how families can cope with it, or services to help them deal with that kind of that stress.